We're back talking about old homes and new homes, and honestly, what should you be buying? Should you be buying an old home? Should you be buying a new home? What is the difference when it comes to important things? Today we're talking about investing in old homes versus new homes, because guess what? There is a world of a difference of what your world likes if you're buying something old or buying something new. And the reality is we don't have a lot of real estate on the market, which means you don't always have a choice. So we are going to talk about the pros and cons of old homes versus new homes and help you decide what you should do. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kris Krohn, and I specialize in investing in real estate. Now, you might be here because you're wondering, well, old versus new for a primary residence, that's one thing. But really, we're here to talk about investment properties. And even if you're going to buy it as a primary residence, here's the question. Where are you going to be better off? Owning this home that's old or owning this home that's newer-ish? First of all, there's a lot of appeal to old and new, and for different reasons that we're definitely going to be talking about. But at the end of the day, there's one of them that's going to make you a lot more money as an investor than the other. And as a primary residence, same thing. One you're going to be way better off with than the other. Let's dive on in. So first of all, let's talk just about older homes and part of what that means, right? They often lack ductwork and central air systems. They didn't have the kind of technology that we do today. They're also filled with old school features like cast iron radiators and Victorian style woodwork. In terms of layout, they tend to have smaller, more individual rooms as opposed to spacious open spaces and floor plans. So that's what you get with older homes. And there's some advantages. I mean, first one is location. Often older homes are located like central to like the city. So you've got the shortest commute to sometimes some of the best action, and there's a lot of people that want to be central to that action. Number two, charm. There's so many people that are like into that old home look because of the unique architectural details, giving that home a ton of personality that you just lack in newer homes that just look like boxes. If the home's old enough and in like a historical neighborhood and has the right type of architectural style, sometimes those homes can actually carry a higher value. So there's that to consider. And then finally, speed. If you're buying a new build home, you might face construction delays or supply chain issues that slow down the process. With an existing home, it's just like you buy it and it's done. But there are some disadvantages that you want to be aware of when it comes to old homes. And as an investor, this is one that is really a big deal. And it's called outdated infrastructure. It's like, okay, well, tell me about the copper wiring. And technology has changed wildly in the last 50 to 100 years, right? I mean, old homes may still use older heating and cooling systems. They're going to have fewer electrical outlets. And homes like that, they're expensive to upkeep. I remember this old home that I had bought. It was literally like 115 years old. And I had to change a fuse. And the fuse wasn't a fuse. Like it was like a weird like bulb like thing. And I had to like specialize, like I had to go online to order the thing so that I could get the electricity working again. Updating that home was a nightmare. You're going to have problems. And you need to be prepared for them. And often they're expensive to fix. The very first house that I bought was in the 40s. And when I bought it, it wasn't until I owned it for a few months before the people renting the basement started flushing things down the toilet, but then things came right back up. And it turns out that the sewer line that was in the basement going out to the street to go to the main sewer, there was a belly in it because there was a tree in the yard and there was a root that grew underneath it, and the belly tilted it up, and it meant that all of the poop came back up into the house and sometimes just went everywhere. It was $7,000 for me to literally rip up my yard, get a permit, go into the street and have the whole thing fixed. That was $7,000 I didn't have my first house. Being an investor means that we want a certain level of predictability. Like I don't want to own a home and 4 months later find out that I have to spend $7,000 fixing this thing. And that's something that you have to be aware of when you buy an old home, is that the older the home, the bigger the problems. And listen, if you're like, hey, we're close in the city, it's in a historic district, we love the architectural style, and sure, it has problems, but you know, we'll update it as we go. If that's your cup of tea, rock it. But as an investor, that's a dangerous move. And I'll tell you that I bought some old homes back in the day, and I don't do it anymore, but the reason why I used to is because I would sometimes get a really good deal. I remember I bought this one house for literally like $100,000, and it was worth $180,000, and I was like, dude, I got an $80,000 discount. But as I tore into the home and had to redo the electrical, and as I had to update things, and as I had to paint the thing, and I just literally every time I fixed one thing, I discovered another thing. Listen, I sold it. I still made like $30,000, but I thought I was going to make like $60,000. And so I'm glad that I didn't hold on to that home, but I started creating some rules for myself as an investor. The more old homes I bought, the more I became a don't wanter of that type of home, and I started gravitating towards newer homes. And let's talk about why. If you're looking at newly constructed homes, you'll notice that there are some current trends in how they're designed and how they're built. They have smart technologies, energy efficient features, central air systems, living rooms oriented around space for a TV or an entertainment entertainment center rather than a fireplace. On average, they're larger and they're definitely up to code. So let's take a look at some of the advantages. They tend to be energy efficient, which means that they're going to be a lot cheaper to heat and cool. Number two, the amenities, right? You've got central air, dishwashers, electrical. Homes have just kind of gotten cooler, like builders are doing cool customizations. You might step into a home where you or the previous owner was able to build in some really cool features during the construction time. And on top of that, you have home warranties, right? The builder's coming in warranting certain things. You can even buy a warranty that says that for the first 2 or 3 years, you have a list of all these things go out, it's going to be taken care of. And so what you really end up stepping into is efficiency and predictability. And as an investor, if I buy 10 homes or 100 homes, I want them to all behave the same. That doesn't happen when you start mixing in old homes. But there are some disadvantages of newer homes, why a lot of people consider older in the first place. Number one, you're going to pay the highest prices for these brand new homes because bottom line, that's just where the market is at. You also might have HOAs, right? Extra fees dealing with restrictions on how you can use the home. And then you got competition, right? You're going to have to face off with people that may bid up against you. They want that home because it's a newer home. Could ignite a bidding war. We've seen bidding wars in the past. Dude, some of the bidding wars that I went through in 2021, we get like 50 offers on a home, just to hope that we could be the competing one. I'd have to go in and buy the home cash with no contingencies. And we might see some of that more in 2025. Here's the bottom line. You can buy old homes, you can buy new homes. If you're an investor and you're going to be buying a lot of homes, I would stay away from the old ones. If you want predictability, if you want your cash flow to be predictable, that's a good thing. You might say, but Kris, I kind of like buying the older homes because I can sometimes get a better deal. And I'm like, well, if you want to go that route, you can, but now it's taking a passive game and it's turning it more into an active job. And so it's just not the way I like to play. If you take a look at the last 5,000 single family homes that I've bought in the country, they look identical. Most of them are built inside the last 10 years. I'd say 30% of my inventory that I'm buying right now is brand new or it's built in just the last 3 years. Those homes are fetching my best ROIs. I'm in the path of progress. In fact, I'm making more money in the game of real estate with everything that I've learned than ever before. And I get it. You might be thinking, but Kris, I'm still going to get a better deal if I buy an older home. And it's like, actually, that's not even true itself. Did you know that there are places in the country where I'm buying real estate where I'm averaging year over year a 60% annual ROI? And many of these homes are entirely brand new. Now you might be a little curious, how am I doing that? Where am I going? Where am I finding these really good deals? And how am I getting ROIs like that? And I'm doing that for me and my partners. I've got 2,000 partners around the world that I buy real estate with, I build portfolios with. Often they bring a 401k to the table or an IRA or equity in a primary residence. And they basically say, Kris, can you teach me how to invest in real estate? In fact, will you just do it for me? And they partner with me. We basically just split all the profits 50-50 and they love it. In fact, if you want to learn how to get into investment grade real estate and access new properties, but with the kind of discounts you'd get on old properties, and if you want to tap into really, really high ROIs, click the link below, request information about partnering with me, and if we partner together, we're going to smoke it. I get it, right? Like, Kris, where are you buying real estate? Like, where are these top markets? Well, turns out I made a video for you, and it's right here showing you the markets that I'm buying.